All right, if you've ever had that little heart-stopping moment trying to juggle meetings between Microsoft Teams and your Outlook calendar, trust me, you are not alone. It is probably one of the biggest headaches in the whole Microsoft 365 world. So today, let's dive in and figure out how to finally get your schedule under control.
Seriously, just take a second and ask yourself this, because for so many of us, the answer is a huge yes. We're constantly flipping between apps, just trying to get a clear picture of our own day, and it's causing some pretty big problems.
Let's start with a classic, the double booking. We've all had that sinking feeling, right? You look down and realize you scheduled a huge client demo at the exact same time as a mandatory internal meeting. It's not just stressful, it makes you look disorganized, which is the last thing any of us want.
Or maybe this one's worse, the ghost appointment. You accept an invite in Outlook, you're all set, but it just never shows up in your team's calendar. And the first time you hear about it is when your boss messages you asking, "Hey, where are you?" Yikes.
All of these things just feed into one giant problem: constant scheduling conflicts. You get stuck in that never-ending email chain. Does 2 p.m. work? No. How about 3? All because nobody has one single clear place to see who's actually free. It's just a massive time waster.
But let's be super clear here. This is not your fault. It's a system thing. Microsoft Teams and Outlook are both amazing tools, but a lot of the time, they act like two separate companies that don't really talk to each other. And that disconnect, that's the real reason for all this calendar chaos.
And this chaos pops up in some really specific, frustrating ways. Like when a client reschedules over email, but that change doesn't update in Teams. Or the folks on your team who live in Outlook just completely miss a meeting that was set up in a Teams channel. You might even book a conference room in Outlook, but someone else can still grab it in Teams. It's just a minefield.
Now, in all fairness, Microsoft does have a built-in solution for this. By default, Microsoft 365 is supposed to handle the basic sync for you. The whole idea is you create a meeting in Teams, it should just pop up in Outlook. And for a simple personal schedule, a lot of the time it works okay. So when we talk about native synchronization, that's what we mean. It's this automatic process that's supposed to happen in the background. As long as you're logged into both Teams and Outlook with the same Microsoft 365 account, the system is designed to keep your own personal calendars lined up. It's the baseline.
But, and this is a big but, the second you start really collaborating with your team, we're talking shared calendars, team schedules, trying to see who's free, that's when the cracks in this native solution really start to show. And that good enough solution, suddenly it's not nearly good enough.
And here's the absolute heart of the problem. Over in Outlook, you get a pretty good view. You can see your own stuff, you can see your team's shared calendars, it's all there. But then you hop over to Teams, where you're doing all your work, and poof, those shared calendars are just gone. It creates this huge blind spot, meaning you never really have the full picture in either app.
So, if the built-in sync has these pretty big gaps, what are you supposed to do? Well, this is where specialized third-party tools come into play. These are apps built for one specific purpose: to solve these exact collaboration and visibility problems that the default system just can't seem to figure out.
And one of the best solutions designed to fix all of this is the Virto Calendar App. The best way to think about it is not as another calendar, but as your new command center for all things scheduling, and it lives right inside Microsoft Teams.
At its core, what Virto does is it overlays all your different schedules, from Outlook, from SharePoint, even tasks from Planner, into one single place. That idea of a single comprehensive view is the real game changer here. It means you can finally stop jumping between 5 different apps just to figure out what your day looks like.
And before we go any further, let's talk about the big one, security. Because what's really important to know about Virto is that it's considered a native Microsoft add-on. As the source material says right here, it follows Microsoft's super strict security rules, and all your data stays right on Microsoft servers. For any company worried about security and compliance, that is a really, really big deal.
Okay, so with security covered, let's look at how this command center actually gets you from chaos to complete control. We're going to walk through the features that directly attack the problems we talked about earlier and gets you back in the driver's seat of your own schedule.
It really happens in 4 simple but powerful steps. First, there's the calendar overlay, which pulls everything, personal, team, and shared calendars, into one view. Then you use custom views to filter all that information down to just what you need for a specific project. Next, it pulls in multiple data sources so you can see your planner tasks and SharePoint events. And finally, enhanced sharing gives you total control over who can see what.
This table really makes the difference crystal clear. For viewing shared calendars, the native solution makes you jump through hoops. Virto, it's a seamless overlay. Instead of switching apps to schedule a meeting, you get one single, color-coded view of everything. And it totally breaks down those data silos by pulling things like your planner tasks right onto your calendar timeline.
So, the bottom line is that Virto isn't just a Band-Aid. It's a real fix for the deep-down sync issues. By creating this central hub, it just bypasses the limitations of the native sync, gives you true real-time updates from everywhere, and hands you one single platform to manage your time.
And that's really the transformation we're talking about. You go from a state of constant calendar chaos, where everything is fragmented and you can't trust what you're seeing, to a state of unified control, where you have one single source of truth for every single meeting, task, and appointment.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. For just a minute, forget about the frustration of missed meetings and double bookings. Instead, ask yourself this: what could you and your team really achieve if you had a schedule that was truly seamless, totally intelligent, and completely unified?